You know, we don't even get into week 1 of the preseason, and we're already facing some adversity when it comes to injuries. One player placed on IR and will be out for the rest of the season. But in good news, we have a player coming back, and it's Zamir White. We've been waiting to hear from him, waiting to see anything that we can with him going into training camp, and we get it today, as well as a running back being signed to the team and some players holding a workout, edge defenders, linebackers, and more running backs. We'll probably see a lot of this going into week 1 of the preseason, which is less than a week away. It's less than a week until some Raiders football, y'all. So let's go ahead and hop into this video, man, and break down some details. So if y'all can, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. Y'all know what it is. Appreciate y'all being here. Let's hop into it. So Zamir White is back at practice, and today's his first day back at training camp. Really excited to see him out there because with Josh Jacobs, Kenyon Drake, and Amir Abdullah, those guys right there have already been there. You got Bolden as well at camp. Now Zamir White's able to go out there and show off what he has. So it's going to be real interesting to see how the dynamic of preseason week 1 is going to be and what's that running back committee going to look like. But when you think about the running back situation or running back group as it is, which one of those guys are going to go out there and really get tested? Maybe Kenyon Drake because he's coming off of an injury. I think he could definitely be out there just to kind of get that game feeling back because he went out around, half of the season last year. So Kenyon Drake definitely would probably want to just get a couple of snaps. So we'll see what happens week 1. I'm very interested to see how the running backs look going into the Jaguars game. But in other news, we do have a guy going on season-ending injury, and it's going to be Kyle Fracker Out. Unfortunately, he will be out for the season. He will not be able to play for the Raiders again. Best of luck to him because I was hoping he'd be able to come out here and add to the depth of our pass rushing. Because when you think about it, yes, we do have Chandler Jones and Max Crosby, but you always want that second wave of pass rushers. We have Malcolm Kuntz, and then you have Clelin Ferrell, which Clelin Ferrell is banged up as well. So you can see where the injuries are starting to trickle up. If these injuries are starting now, and these guys are supposed to be the second string or the second wave of whatever position they're supposed to be in or position group they are, we're going to have to see, okay, these guys were working out, may actually make the roster. So it's going to be interesting to see how this roster plays out. But Fracker Out was a guy that could have potentially made up for 4 or 5 sacks on the season. And just to add to that, one note I just remembered is Chandler Jones. Chandler Jones has been missing. It's been missing. I shouldn't say it like that. Has been out the last 2 practices. Now, I don't know if it's significant injury or it's just whatever the case may be. He may be an older player. He's a veteran. And guys on the edge, like we've been talking about this whole video, have been kind of getting banged up. So we would hate to see Chandler Jones suffer from any minor injury that could linger. Being that he is 32 years old, he will be going on 33, and he is up there in age. So we'll see what happens with that, but let's keep an eye on the edge defender. Now, moving down the line, when it comes to the roster moves, the Raiders actually signed a running back in Austin Walker, who was getting some looks at by the 49ers, then end up getting picked up by the Jets, and now is ultimately on the Raiders. Austin doesn't have too much history in the league. We can really see it as a preseason move, a guy that just comes in and get in a rotation. So a lot of our starters, because a lot of our starters, think about it, we know Josh Jacobs won't be playing in the preseason, and Bolden most likely won't either. So with that, we're going to probably need to bring in some guys. So I wouldn't want anybody to be too worried about us signing players. We're definitely going to need some guys to go out there and play in the position of where the starters would be as far as the preseason and really show some competition for the guys that are 3rd or 4th on this depth chart. That's why we went and worked out players like Omari Cobb, who is an edge defender, and then there's linebackers like Jordan Evans, who we definitely looked at that I think we could potentially bring in. He has some good history as far as being in the NFL and being productive, not as a starting linebacker, but definitely as a special teams guy that can go out there. And the last but not least, probably least, I mean, call it what it is, Curtis Bolton, linebacker, was also being looked at, but I think Jordan Evans is the name that has the most potential to actually be on this roster, actually be out there for this team. So just some things that we could definitely look out for. Zamir White back at training camp. Kyle Fracker out for the season, and we'll definitely have to keep an eye on the edge defender depth and just see how it works out. As far as the linebackers, we should be fine. I know we're trying out some linebackers, but we should be fine there going into week 1. Let's keep an eye on all these roster moves. I appreciate y'all being here. You'll know what it is. Make sure y'all rate that like button. If y'all can, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Appreciate y'all being here. Until next time, y'all ready to tape.